All right, guys. Remember to leave your name so we know who you are when you've logged on. Hey, Colin. Letting some of our other friends know we're going live. Awesome. Colin, how was your week this week so far, anyway? Hi, Catherine. Pretty boring. Yeah, there's not a lot going on, not a lot to do. I tried to find some fun things to do for Easter, but we ended up just kind of hanging out. Yeah, this is my my sloth friend. Oh no, I have a candle going. My sister, oh, I don't know. A few years ago, my sister gave this to me either for my birthday or Christmas. I also forget the sloth's name. She named it. It's like Slothy Hepburn or Sleth the Sloth or like something, that's supposed to be like funny like that. So this is my sloth friend. He usually sits back here. I don't know that I can uh show you. I don't really have any chairs in my room. I have this floor cushion. And so he sits next to my desk in my room and is what I'm able to lean back on when I sit on my floor cushion. It's so nice. It's ridiculously huge. Um, okay, in one word, give me an update about how you're doing today. Like how do we feel? What's your gut reaction to like what kind of day it's been today? Today feels like a Monday to me because I don't Tuesday is my first day of classes every week, so I don't go to class on Monday. So I really feel like my week just started today and I like just got done with the class, feeling very tired of having to do that. I'll be excited to rest later today, but it's been kind of like a run of the mill week for me. I'm feeling, I don't know, like hopeful. I don't uh know what I'm hopeful about, but I'm just kind of like hopeful that the week will get better. What about you guys? In one word, how would you say you're feeling today? Don't see any responses yet. Maybe it's me, maybe it's you. Who can say a little bit of both? Okay, well, I don't have any big plans for today. I really just want us to hang out and share stories for a little bit. We'll see if some more friends are able to come on and join us in the next few minutes. But yes, I don't have any major thoughts. I wish we were on Zoom or something. I feel like it's always easier to really talk with each other that way. But my main thought is I wanted to try something out with you and kind of promo something we might start doing on social media, probably more on Instagram than anything else. But a little while ago, I was sent some of these cards. I don't know. Do you know about this company? It's myintent.org. They have these cards, like a deck of cards that is like, what's your word? I think they're really popular. They have little bracelets, and it's kind of a circle. It looks like the little image they have there in the middle. And so you get a bracelet with whatever your word is, and that can bring you encouragement or just kind of like center you in a really stressful moment. And so, kind of along with their mission of helping people create and start really meaningful conversations, they have a deck of cards that they you can purchase that serve as like conversation starters, and they have different categories. Like some of these are serve, love, grow, dream, be me. So like thinking about like self-reflection kind of things. But I have a few of these. I use these as um, bookmarks. And so when I'm reading a book, I can kind of give these a look and be thinking about something. And it's a nice break in the day for me. So one question, I just kind of randomly drew out a few that I would be interested to hear from you, what you would have to say about this. Um, is that, let's see, what are you passionate about? And what do you want to spend more time doing? So in this season, right, we have probably more time than we would usually have to try new things. So what is something that you are passionate about that you want to spend more time doing? Leave a comment and let us know, and we can talk a little bit about some of those things. It's a good way for us to just get to know each other. So while you're typing a response, I hope I'll be able to see. My computer is running kind of slow, but I'm hoping it will refresh soon. What am I passionate about and want to spend more time doing? I learned how to embroider 2 years ago, I think is when I started learning how to do that. And I really enjoyed it. I'm trying to remember why I started embroidering. I think I know. It was the year I had some surgery done. I had my wisdom teeth removed, and I I don't know, I felt like I didn't want to just sit around the house all day and have nothing to do, so I was usually like very tired and exhausted the whole time. Um, so I learned to embroider. I just had someone take me to the store and bought up all these different supplies and worked really hard on it for about a year and got pretty good at it. But I probably in the last few months stopped doing it because I just didn't have any time. It's a very time consuming task. I'll show you actually. I think I have one, a project I worked on a little while ago hanging up over here. BRB. I'm going to find it. This guy is something I made, I think last year. So it's just kind of a panel of things I really enjoy being outside. I really like peacocks and peacock feathers. These are like kind of mountains. What else is over here? A flower, a feather, it's a butterfly, um, a crown of thorns with like little droplets of likely blood and some flowers. So I spent a long time working on this. I think I also was able to use it for like a school project or something. We had to use the arts in different ways. And so you can kind of see back here, I have, this is where I do all my devotionals in the morning. Really all of my quiet time and prayer time I do in this space, and that helps me. And so I've kind of created a spot over here of images that I really like. You've heard me talk about that before, how meaningful images are to me, and a list of questions that I ask myself every day, and a whole stack of devotionals and other books that I read. And then I keep this kind of over here in a similar area next to my guitar to remind me of all the things that I love and how I see God in the world. So that's something I'm passionate about that I want to spend more time doing. What are some things you are passionate about that you would like to spend more time doing? It can be anything. Schoolwork, I have found in this season, I don't know if this is true of you. One reason I really don't like doing online classes, even though it's really convenient in many ways, is that it feels like I'm always working. Like because I don't have a time when I go to school and then I come back, there's something that really just like messes up my schedule and my ability to really divide my day. And so I have felt like really overwhelmed. Like if I wake up at 6 o'clock, um, it feels like I'm just working all day long. So I'm really excited to get a real schedule going, like get some other tasks that can help me break up the day and do things that I just enjoy, that I'm passionate about. Claire says gymnastics. Yes, we know that Claire is so very gifted, so very talented. And so, yeah, that's really, I mean, that's something you're passionate about and you enjoy doing, but things that you can incorporate in your life and start doing more that bring you joy. It's like really, really meaningful. So, um, that's great. Let me see another question. What is your perfect day? It's a question that came up. I feel like this is a really good conversation question. You get to know. Jake would like to see people. Yeah. Um, and for me, even for a perfect day would look like seeing people. Um, yeah, and I've been trying to learn. A professor this morning, I have a class I take on the poet, and he's a poet. He also writes novels. He also writes essays. He does a little bit of everything. But he's a Kentucky farmer, Wendell Berry. Some of you heard me talk about him before. But I take this whole class devoted to learning about him and kind of his philosophy. So we've read all of his poems. We'll read most everything he's written. You take that word for both questions. But we were talking about today how um, important community is, because that's the number one thing Wendell Berry talks about. And he said, the most successful, the people who have survived some of the hardest things, like the Great Depression or various wars, if they were soldiers in those wars, the people who survived that were not like the optimists who were like, oh, everything's just going to get better all of a sudden. Those people actually were some of the first to go because they kept hoping, in a couple of months, this will all be over. We'll be back home. Everything will be back to normal. Is those people don't make it, because then if it doesn't get better by whatever thing you've made up in your mind, you're so discouraged. I mean, it's like a devastating blow. He said, so the people who make it are almost like the realist, or almost like pessimistic people who say, maybe if things are bad, it's just always going to be this way. It's never going to be any different. So now just start living your life as if this was the new normal. And so that was like a more discouraging thing. But I was encouraged by it to say, well, if I keep acting like I just need to survive this time until things get back to normal, then I'm not actually really living in this time. I'm not looking for how God can be moving in the world, can be using me in my life, how I can be relating to other people. And I will actually be a great failure to use this time well. And so I've been trying to think, well, this is a new normal thing. How would I live my day? Um, and that's been encouraging to me, to kind of help me really value. So even though a Zoom call is not the same as being with other people, how can I use that to my best ability to be encouraged? So, but yeah, a perfect day, Megan says, would be in being productive, doing the things you need to do, and then things you want to do. That's also really hard. Like yesterday, I drove back to Waco because I left all of my tax forms, my W-2s here, so I needed to file my taxes. So I came back and I spent the whole day trying to, like, desperately trying to get things done, and I just couldn't. My apartment was messy, and so I just had to clean it. To me, that's a very like therapeutic kind of task. It's like I just can't handle living in dirtiness. So it was a thing. It was a mixture. It was like a thing that needed to get done, but also that I wanted to do, and that felt like really nice. Quality one-on-one time with people, yeah, for sure. And I'm trying to think, my perfect day normally, whether in a pandemic or any given day, would probably look almost the same. It would involve being at the park, maybe with other people, maybe alone, but I would grab my hammock and my backpack and hike up somewhere nice and secluded with lots of trees and little critters, and I would spend the day at the park. That's definitely what I would do. Let me find another question. I think I started a thought and then I didn't conclude it. What I think we'll start doing on Instagram is posting some of these questions every day. And I would really like to see you guys be a little bit more interactive with sharing your thoughts there. And then that's another way that we can start communicating with people. A lot of you are really active on Instagram or other social media. And so, especially like Ashley Witt, high school Ashley Witt, she has another account, and we've reposted some of her things before, of some really great like artistic things she does, and so that's a great platform for us to get to know each other. Let me see. This one is about dreams. So these questions can really spark some really cool conversation between us. This one is about your dreams. So if money was not an issue, how would you spend your time? How would your day be structured? Or maybe what's a special activity you would do if money was not an issue? You could blow as much money as you wanted. While you gather your thoughts and leave some answers, I'm going to look for another one. That's a good question. I know some of you, I don't remember under what context we've talked about this previously, but I specifically remember there being a time as either a large group or a small group, we talked about how like some people can't, getting a question on the spot, like I can't respond to it right away. I need to think about it. So some of you may be that kind of person, and it's really hard to just like give an answer off the top of your head to think about these things, and that's okay. But these are fun. The point is, this is like a kind of a conversational thing that I want to teach you, that whether you're in person or even on social media, these are just like very non-invasive, but like also really good ways just to get conversations started with people. Kayaking, yes, but in Hawaii. Yes, and that's like an expensive activity if you're like your whole family is going. You easily, quickly could invest a lot of money into that. I know I went whitewater rafting in North Carolina with a group of friends, and it was very expensive. It was so much fun, but it was wildly expensive. Yeah, that's a great way to spend your time if money was not an issue. Anybody else? I'm gonna ask one more question, and then we'll wrap up. I don't want to keep you very long. What can you do today? This is the question. What could you do today that you could not do a year ago? So this question is asking about how we think we've grown. What can you do today that you couldn't do a year ago? I'm trying to think what that would be for me. What could I do today? Couldn't do a year ago. One thing I can do today that I couldn't do a year ago is I'm trying to think. This is a hard question. Actually, this is the main thing for me to do to you, to ask you these questions that are really hard to answer. But I do think like I can oh, Catherine, travel. Yes, I bet that was for the previous question. Good. Megan, you can use MLA. You couldn't do that a year ago. That's nice. Whoa, Evan. Wow. That's a very impressive thing. Coding is wow. I'm very yeah. I actually, I lied. I do know what I can do now that I can do a year ago. I can play the guitar, but only a little bit. Um, I had -2 ability to play the guitar a year ago, and now I have like 1.01 ability to play the guitar. Now I know a few chords now. I very slowly but surely can play along. Actually, to many songs, I can play along to songs. I cannot sing and play at the same time. The main reason why I can't sing and play at the same time is mostly because I just can't sing, which is problematic. Jake lives in Waco now, very different from a year ago. That's an incredible. I mean, that was actually at the start of the year, so it hasn't even been a full year that this happened. It's a wild change. Okay, I said that was the last question, but I lied because I just found one that is very fitting to what this week we've already been challenged to think about. Is that what would you do if you were not afraid? If you just weren't afraid, you just were not fearful of anything, you didn't have a fearful personality, there wasn't anything specific you were afraid of, like how would that change your life? What's something you would do if you were not afraid? For me, I am very afraid about how I'm perceived. Like to me, first impressions are everything. And honestly, like even my work ethic. My work ethic is more about like I work hard and work hard to do a good job on things. Not so much, this is a flaw on my part, not so much because I care that much about a thing being done well or because I'm even that invested in something. It's just because I don't want to look bad. That's the main motivation between most things I do in my life because I'm so fearful of either being reprimanded or just looking stupid. So if I weren't afraid, like I would definitely share my thoughts more, whether that was in class or just with my family and friends, like just in conversation. I think I would share what I was actually thinking more. I would be more willing to just like talk to people. A lot of the reason why that makes me nervous is because I'm afraid of being rejected. And so that fearfulness in my life keeps me from interacting with people in a way I would really actually genuinely like to. The Rooses, mom and dad, would like to start a company. And I think, I don't, well, I mean, what kind of company? I think I have in my mind maybe an idea. But what company would you like to start? Yeah, no, and like that's a big, there's so much risk involved in that. So it's fearful to go and do that. Yeah, it's scary to do risky things. But it's so funny that like in Christianity, a lot of that, what we believe is so much about, taking risks to do things for God and God's kingdom. And there's a lot of risk in doing that. But we are often, as people, we're so afraid of taking risks. So that can be a big challenge for us. Yeah, stepping out of your comfort zone. That's, yeah, me as well. I have really been more and more as like each year passes, getting better and better about stepping out of my comfort zone. But it's still really, really hard. anything, anything. Darren says anything. You could start a company, but that would be really fun. Yeah. For me, I guess another like a big dream would be starting a small like indie bookshop, like Fable Bookshop in Waco. I would love to just go somewhere really random and start a wonderful bookshop and cafe. That would be the best thing in the world. Yeah, so that's really, I didn't have it, no deep thoughts or anything super crazy. But I want to show what I think we'll start doing is that every week, at least once a week, maybe more, I'll post some of these questions for you to think about on Instagram and probably a Facebook story as well, just for you to be thinking about. And if nothing else, these are good questions since we're spending a lot of time with our families, more time than we maybe usually would be. It can be really tense and really stressful, right? Because except we're not always around these people. And while we love our families, we also probably frustrate each other a lot at various points in time. And so having just like goofy questions, just funny questions, is a great way to just show respect to each other and love each other and get to know each other. So whether that's with our friends or our family members, just finding little things that can bring us joy and help us get to know each other in a time when we're so distant, I think it'd be really meaningful and just really fun. It's fun because we'll get to know each other. Okay. Concluding thought. Today and challenge. Today, do something that is fun. Ask someone a funny question. Just spend some time doing that. Create something. Make something that's really fun. I recently made a candle out of a teacup. Very easy, very fun. We love it. Another thing I have done in the past that I think I might start doing again is you can really easily get like plastic mesh and these like, I don't know what this is called, these like little plastic wire things. And you weave them together and make bookmarks. When I did this last time, I made bookmarks to send to the border for Texas River Ministry that partners with the Baptist General Convention of Texas. They help people who have crossed the border for whatever reason they've crossed. They end up at churches and they need some help, and so they give them hygiene kits to help them get a bath. But they also teach ESL classes and help start libraries. And so I, with a group of small kids, when I worked in children's ministry in Brownwood, we made a bunch of bookmarks to send to them. So since I have some extra time, I might be doing something like that. Embroider, learn how to embroider if that's fun. Read some books, read some poetry. Book rec, I've been reading poetry about the earth and land and nature. What I read today was called My Mississippi Spring by Margaret Walker, which I really liked because I was born in Mississippi and lived there for a while. So do something that's fun. Do something that brings you joy, that can bring somebody else joy, that can meet a need, or that can just bring a smile. Those are really meaningful things. It was good spending this little bit of time with you. Like I said, I'll see you on social media. We'll do our normal Wednesday part of our sermon series tomorrow. Thursday, we'll have another worship session at 12:34. And Friday, Darcy and Emma are doing our YouTube Live. They're going to take that over. So that'll be really fun. Be there for those. If you can't be live with everyone at 12:34, that's okay. Go back and watch it later, and that will still be really meaningful. And then you're kind of a part of the action of what we've been doing together. So I love you. Grace and peace. As you leave, I'll say this final benediction over you from one of my prayer books that I really like. So may the peace of the Lord Christ go with you wherever he may send you. May he guide you through the wilderness, protect you through the storm. May he bring you home rejoicing at the wonders he has shown you. May he bring you home rejoicing once again into our doors. Awesome. Love you guys. See you later.